The top 5 fighter jets in the Israeli Air Force. Founded in 1948, the Israeli Air Force IAF operates as the aerial and defense warfare branch of the Israel Defense Forces IDF. The agency has operated a wide range of combat aircraft since its inception. Simple Flying compiled a list of the top 5 historical and current fighters operated by the IAF based on information from the Israeli Air Force IAF. Number 5. North American P-51 Mustang. The P-51 Mustang was among the most successful fighters during the Second World War during the summer of 1948. A team from the IAF managed to acquire for P-51 Mustangs in the U.S. The aircraft was shipped to Israel in crates as agricultural equipment to bypass the embargo requirements on weapons. The first 2 examples were quickly assembled to enter the 1st Fighter Squadron with the IAF. During the War of Independence, these fighters proved to be the most advanced fighters with the IAF. Besides their primary role as strike fighters and interpreters, these aircraft were also used for reconnaissance missions. Fighter and fighter bomber. Max takeoff weight: 12,100 pounds, 5,488 kilograms, 5,490. Power plant: 1 times Packard Rolls-Royce V1650-7 Merlin 12-cylinder liquid-cooled engine. 1,490 horsepower, 1,110 kilowatts at 3,000 revolutions per minute. 1,720 horsepower, 1,280 kilowatts. Maximum speed for 140 miles per hour, 710 kilometers per hour, 383 kn. Range: 1,650 miles, 2,660 kilometers, 1,430 for nm with external tanks. Guns: 6 times .50 caliber 12.7 mm and M2 Browning machine guns with 1,840 total rounds. Rockets: 6 or 10 5.0 in 127 mm T6 for VAR rockets. Bombs: 100 pounds 45 kilograms or 250 pounds 110 kilograms bomb, or 500 pounds to 130 kilograms bomb on hardpoint under each wing. Number 4. McDonnell Douglas F for Phantom to Kearness. The Phantom F-4 was an important fighter-bomber development, being one of the most delivered supersonic jets to date. It first flew in service in 1958, and although it has been retired by its major operators, it remains in limited service with some countries. The F for Phantom to jet was developed in the 1950s by McDonnell Aircraft for the United States Navy. It is a 2-seat, twin-engine, long-range fighter bomber. It broke many records in its early years, including for speed, high-altitude flight, time to altitude, and speed to altitude. It first flew with the U.S. Navy on May 27, 1958. The initial Navy use expanded into the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Marine Corps as well, and the aircraft became one of the most important in the U.S. military for many years. It was used extensively in campaigns, including in Vietnam and Operation Desert Storm in the 1990s. The most widely used variant of the Phantom was the F-Free, with over 1,300 units produced for the United States Air Force USAF alone. When the IAF was ready to select its new fighter, the F-4R was the obvious choice. The IAF received its first Phantom in September 1969 and quickly put it to service in the War of Attrition along the Suez Canal. The F-4E Phantom fleet provided the IAF with a decisive advantage over its enemies during various wars. The Phantoms featured long-range radar and AIM-7 Sparrow radar-guided missiles. Although they were retired in 2004, they remain a revered part of the IAF's history. Interceptor and fighter bomber. Max takeoff weight: 61,795 pounds, 28,030 kilograms. Power plant: 2 times General Electric J79 GE17A after burning turbojet engines. Maximum speed: Mach 2.3. Cruise speed: 510 kn, 580 miles per hour, 940 kilometers per hour. Combat range 370 nm for 120 miles, 680 kilometers. Number 3. F-16I Fighting Falcon Suffa. The F-16 Fighting Falcon is arguably the most successful late Cold War American fighter jet. With over 4,600 aircraft built since 1976, it is a relatively small aircraft dwarfed by other aircraft like the F-15, F-35, Su-34, and J-O, while the U.S. Air Force no longer purchases the F-16, instead focusing on buying more advanced F-35AS and F-15E Strike Eagles, it remains in demand worldwide. Even a limited number of old and retired F-16s can significantly boost some air forces, such as Argentina and Ukraine. One of the main fighters of the IAF is the F-16I, nicknamed Suffa or Thunderstorm. It is a modified version of the original F-16 adapted to the specifications laid out by the IAF. The F-16I was first unveiled at the Lockheed Martin facility in 2003. With an order of 100 to F-16s, the first lot of the aircraft entered service in February 2004. F-16I features takeoff weight 23,600 kilograms, greater capacity for weaponry than conventional F-16s, AMRAAM air-to-air missile with the ability to shoot down within 50 kilometers, Northrop Grumman APG-68 radar, synthetic aperture radar system and lightning navigation pod, internally mounted FLIR forward-looking infrared viewers, side fuel tanks. Number 2. F-15 Eagle. The Boeing F-15EX Eagle II is a multi-role strike aircraft derived from the McDonnell Douglas F-15E. The newest version of the iconic F-15 was launched due to inadequate production of the F-22 and aging previous generation aircraft. The aircraft made its first flight in February 2021, and a formal introduction into service is planned for July. Simple Flying has compiled a list of prominent facts about the new strike fighter, as highlighted by Boeing. The F-15 Eagle is an American-manufactured fighter jet that was rolled out in July 1972 and performed its first flight a month later. The IAF acquired the F-15 Eagles under the Peace Fox program in 1975 to overcome the MiG-25 threat over its airspace. On December 10, 1976, the IAF received its first 4 F-15 Strike Eagle aircraft. The following year, the IAF received the remaining 21 aircraft, 19 F-15AS and 2 F-15BS in the original order. The aircraft remains a primary superiority fighter with the IAF, addressing a variety of missions. In all, the IAF has purchased 100 for F-15s across various variants. F-15 features single-seat air superiority and fighter with secondary attack role. To Pratt & Whitney F-100 PW-100 afterburning turbofan engines. Maximum speed Mach 2.5 plus. Maximum range 5,745 kilometers. Armament 1M6 1A1 20mm 6-barrel cannon with up to 4 AIM-7 Sparrow and for AIM-9 Sidewinder Python 3/4 air-to-air missiles or 8 AMRAAMs. 5 weapon stations for up to 10,705 kilograms of bombs, rockets, and air-to-surface missiles. Number 1. F-35I Lightning II. Since 2006, Lockheed Martin has delivered over 1,000 examples of the famous stealth combat fighter jet as of 2024. Simple Flying has compiled a list of notable facts about the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II as highlighted by Lockheed Martin. Israel was the first country outside the United States to operate the Lockheed Martin F-35 fighters. The Israel Aerospace Industries agreed with Lockheed to manufacture the outer wings of Israel's F-35s, and the helmet-mounted display was also to be designed in Israel. In 2012, Lockheed changed the first F-35 for the IAF to enable the installation of Israeli electronic warfare. The IAF received its first 9 jets in 2017 and continued to receive more in the following years as part of the 50-jet order. according to the Breaking Defense report as highlighted by the Jewish Virtual Library. One of the key capabilities of the F-35 is its capability to absorb electronic signals from radars and air defense systems and to quickly classify them, geolocate them, and display them to the pilot. Then the aircraft can distribute that data to other combatants. As of 2023, the IAF operates 39 examples of the all-weather stealth aircraft. F-35I features, year introduced, 2016. Type, Advanced Multi-Role Strike Fighter, classification, combat aircraft. Active aircraft in Israeli Air Force, 39. Armament, 25mm GAU-12. U, air-to-air missiles Sidewinder, AMRAAM, guided bombs Paveway 2, general-purpose bombs, JDAM bombs, cruise missile Storm Shadow.